Have you heard reports that indicate most black boys fail out of school? Have you or your friends assumed that most black boys will fall into crime? Well, today we will bring you a refreshing look at the situation through the accomplishments of three truly inspiring young men. Grab your pen and paper. You'll want to take a note.
I think it's important for young people to have a mentor. A mentor could be a regular, everyday person. It's just somebody there to help the child.
Knowing I've had an influence in Chad makes me feel great. By having a mentor, he has someone to bounce ideas off of. He has someone to also challenge him and help him see a vision for the future.
What you'll get out of it is just the satisfaction of knowing that you've helped somebody. Mentoring works.
Become a mentor.
Hello and welcome to the Clarion Call Show. I'm Janice Liggins, your host. In spite of what we hear in the news, many of our youth are making tremendous strides towards securing a successful future. Today, we launch our second episode of our Youth Leaders of Tomorrow series, and I'm excited to present you with three young men, still seniors in high school, who are focused and committed to succeed. First up is Brandon Pace, high school senior and Eagle Scout. Brandon, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Glad to have you on show, and I'm just so impressed with some of the things that you've been doing. So I want you to tell me first, you're a National Honor Society, you're a member of the National Honor Society, a senior, and an Eagle Scout. That's a lot.
Yeah.
How do you stay focused?
Well, the main thing that keeps me focused is I know what my goals are in life. So I know I want to go to college. I know I want to major in. I know what I want to do after college. So right now while I'm in high school, I mainly focus on the things that get me to where I am. So if I know what I have to do, that kind of keeps me focused on.
So the setting the goal helped to really keep you focused on what it is you needed to do?
Yes.
And how is it that you are able to stay focused even on that? You focus on the goal for one, but how do you disdain the distractions? How do you stay away from those?
Well, one thing, you have to kind of set your priorities, and school is kind of my number one priority because I'm there 5 days a week.
Good.
So that's my number one focus, and then I get to do everything else I want to do after school, but
Okay.
my academic stuff is first. So.
Very good. And you attend a private Christian school.
Yes.
How would you compare a private Christian school environment from public school or any other situation?
Well, despite what people say, I don't really think there's a bad thing with public school. The only difference between where I go and public school is that my school is a Christian school. You know, I think the only difference between public school and private school is maybe other people that are in it and not the school itself. Because some schools have bad reputations. My school has a good reputation, but education is kind of the same a lot of places. I think it just depends on like what you do with what you get. So
Okay.
I think that's mainly the only difference.
Very good. And a lot of your academic enrichment activities have been all focused pretty much in engineering. Is that where you want to head? Is that your aim?
Yeah, that's where I want to go in college.
Okay. So tell me a couple things that you have done, the STEAM and the STEAM SCR. What is that?
Well, a STEAM program was a research mentoring program I did over the summer at University of Maryland College Park.
Okay.
And basically what that was that we were asked questions before we went into the program, and they set us up in groups depending on what major we wanted to be in. So I was in a mechanical engineering major, even though that wasn't my major I wanted to do. That's the group I was put in. So we basically got a mentor that was a doctorate student at the university.
Nice.
And then we basically conducted our own research project and then presented it in front of the engineering department at the end of the summer.
And what major do you want to pursue?
I want to do aerospace engineering.
Aerospace engineering, that's a good one. You also participated with the National Society of Black Engineers?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. What was that like?
Well, that was at Prince George's Community College maybe 2 years ago.
Okay.
And basically it was kind of a robotics camp, so
Nice.
we used Lego Mindstorm products, and we had to build our own robot and attachments with it so it can complete an obstacle course and complete different missions. So you kind of learn programming and engineering and robotics at the same time.
Why
So,
engineering?
Well,
Why did you choose engineering?
engineering is mainly focused around solving problems, and I like solving problems, and it's mostly focused on math and science, which are like my two strongest subjects.
Good.
So I was searching around one day trying to find out what in the world I wanted to do after high school. Then I found engineering, and then I looked at other things that I like doing, and I ended up in aerospace, kind of like the planes and how they want to do things. So that's where my main focus is.
Nice. Which university do you want to attend?
I actually do want to go to University of Maryland College Park. So.
It's a great school.
Yeah.
It's a great school. You'll be able to have in-state tuition too, though. Nothing wrong with that. That's always good. That's cool. And now, when you are finished with your education, what career do you see yourself doing? Aerospace can take you in a lot of directions. So what do you specifically want to do?
Well, while I'm in college, I want to mainly focus on the aircraft type track, because in aerospace you can either do things that's outside the atmosphere or inside the atmosphere.
Wow.
So I probably want to work for like a government contractor, probably. Well, I kind of do want to work for Lockheed Martin, but I want to like specialize in propulsion systems and stuff like that.
Very good,
So-
very good. Well, I enjoy speaking with you.
Yeah.
Okay? We'll take a break. We'll be right back with an inspiring financier. Stay tuned.
Which planet are we living on? Earth is right here.
What do you think it would be like to teach?
We're all a part of our...
Chances are, you have no idea.
We're gonna turn on the lights and everybody look up.
Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
Welcome back. We're continuing our discussion on Youth Leaders of Tomorrow. Joining us for this segment is Isaac Jackson, a senior at From the Heart Christian School, and he's also an Eagle Scout. Welcome, Isaac. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you join us.
Thank you.
Now, you have a very well-balanced list of accomplishments that span from the academic to the personal to leadership and volunteer. What keeps you focused and what drives you?
I would like to say my drive mostly comes from the younger kids that are behind me in my school. Because during my football season, I was able to interact with the kindergartners before going to my practices, and seeing them and being able to interact with them drives me to want to do more and be more of a better person in life and be success, so I can come back and invest into their lives.
Very good. So they were your motivation, knowing that you were an example to them.
Yes.
To give them a good, positive example to follow.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's great. Maybe that's the key.
Yes.
Getting the older ones to be mentor or example to the younger ones, because they do look,
Yeah.
and they observe. Very good. Now tell us about, you also attend the private Christian school.
Yes.
What do you see as the benefit or the difference between private Christian and public?
I would just say the difference between private Christian, mostly from my school, and public school is, I guess, the size. And I would guess with the size, you get a more family bond, I guess.
Size meaning it's much smaller?
Yes,
Okay.
like my school is not a lot of us, so we're able to interact with each other more and see each other a lot more than you would say a bigger school with like 1,000 kids in it. And it helps to build a bond. It helps you be able to motivate each other, I guess.
Oh, good. That's good. That's good. Now, tell me about you've got several accomplishments, the President's Education Award. What was that
Yes.
about?
That was an award based upon a GPA. over 3.0, and I was able to receive that at Honor Roll Assembly
Good.
based upon my grade point average.
And your science fair project, what was that about?
My science fair project last year was about motion detectors being placed in pylons for touchdowns for football, because I'm a football player, so that was something that interested me. And we wanted to develop a way that people can detect a person crossing the goal line more efficiently and more accurately instead of using a person's eye.
Okay, okay. And you were in the oratorical competition?
Yeah, so this year's topic was being an agent of peace in the violent world. And that was a topic that really struck me because that's something that I really want to focus on, is being someone that people can look up to and being someone that changes the environment around them and leads the generation to a better path. And the answer that I got from it is basically love one another. And if you love one another and you basically give someone love, then they'll be able to look upon themselves and be able to love another person, and that would cause them to love everybody, I guess.
There's so many people who don't feel that love.
Yes.
And so that's an awesome thing. That's the number one. All of the scriptures are fulfilled in love.
Yes.
Wonderful. You did a mock trial at Loyola?
Yeah, so that was a camp that I attended before my 9th grade year. It was a very great camp. It was a very informing camp. That was when I was going down the track of law before I changed to now finance.
And I was just going to say real quick, you are all Met watch list?
Yeah, so that was my junior year
Wow.
for football.
So you're serious about football?
Yes, I love it.
Now, do you think, you said finance, but which direction do you think you're going to go into?
I'm probably going to go more into the finance way, but I'm still want to have probably a double major with
Yeah.
early childhood education, because that's something that is really stuck within my heart. I think it's mostly where my passion is right now, is early
In
childhood
teaching?
education. Yes.
Nice. You know, that would be absolutely wonderful because a lot of the schools now have mostly female teachers. And it would be good to have, you know, a strong black man in this school, particularly in the younger, earlier ages. So
That's
that would be
something
great
I deserve
too.
as well, yeah.
Wonderful. What college or university do you want to attend?
I'll be attending St. Francis University in Laredo, Pennsylvania.
Okay. Looking forward to that?
Yes, I sign next week.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want to do? Do you think it will be teaching that you actually go into? What do you want to do with the finance?
I think, well, finance, I wanted to become like a stockbroker,
Oh, nice.
but right now I'm not really focused on my own personal accomplishments. I want to focus on helping others and being a person that invests into the lives of others.
Very good.
That's where the teaching comes in.
So you have ranked best player in 2015.
Yes.
Very good, very good, very good. Well, we're going to take a break right now, okay? Coming up is a very well-rounded gentleman who has a heart to serve. Stay with us.
Up, college is hard. Down, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education. So every year I take promising high schoolers on a college tour to show them that higher education means a brighter future. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
You can be a reader, tutor, or mentor too. Take the pledge at liveunited.org/volunteer.
Do you wear this?
Thanks for staying with us. In this segment, we are happy to introduce Austin Strayhorn, another senior at From the Heart Christian School, and yes, Austin is also an Eagle Scout. Austin, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
So tickled to be able to do this. You have a rather impressive roster of accomplishments.
Well, thank you.
With a GPA of 3.94?
More or less.
More or less. Well, more or less. I mean,
more,
that's more.
Yeah.
Great. That's awesome. And your SAT score was?
Yeah, 2050.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very wonderful. Tell me, and I'm going to ask you the same question. What do you see the difference between attending a private Christian school From the Heart and versus a public school? What would you say?
Wow. I'd say one main difference is the class size. At least at my school, it's a smaller Christian school, so it's a more intimate type of teaching setting. The student-teacher ratio is much closer. So that kind of helps to breed a more like a more of a family community type setting, especially since the church and school are all connected. You see the same people throughout the week. You work with them in church and your ministries and such. So in that aspect, it's more of a community. I think you can get the same or equal educational experience, academic experience, if you have good support at home and if you're very academically driven, definitely.
Wonderful, wonderful. You have also been able to accomplish a good bit with even your work experience. Tell us a little bit about the Aspen Institute. What was that about?
Yeah. The Aspen Institute is a think tank in Washington, D.C. And I had the opportunity to intern there over the summer, over 6 weeks, through a program with the Ann Bryce Foundation. In the program they have there called the Pillars of Excellence Internship Program. So I got to intern there for 6 weeks in the summer, a very great opportunity.
Nice. And you also, in your school, you're the president of the student body, is that
Yes, I was elected student body president, yes.
For this year?
For this school year.
Wonderful, wonderful. So tremendous leadership. Yeah. And you're a member of the National Honor Society?
Yes, that's also true.
Wow, very good. Now, tell me a little bit about the President's Gold Award for educational support.
Yes. The President's Gold Award for educational achievement is given out by the President and by the White House to students who have displayed dedication to their academics and have achieved academically. Okay. A lot of students in our school have received it, so it's very academically driven.
It's a good school.
Yeah.
It's good. So seriously. And your science fair project, what was it about?
Yes, a couple years ago, I placed on the school level. A friend and I, we did a project on human behavior, and we placed researching that topic. Our experiment was to see how people reacted to peer pressure, to herd mentality, how people responded in those type of situations, and what part of the brain may be responsible for a person's action or their inaction in those situations.
Very good. What was your conclusion?
Our conclusion was that if people have a set way of doing things, more often than not, that's how they're going to do it, despite others' input or something different. So yeah.
Okay. Oratorical contest also. What was the question about that was posed for the oratorical? You were given a topic to talk about? What was it?
1 year our topic was about how Christians should relate to social media, what the interaction should be, what that relationship should be like.
Okay. You were also in the Yale Young Scholars program. What is Young Global Scholars?
Yes.
Okay. What was that like?
Oh yeah, that was a marvelous experience, probably my best to date. And what that program did was connected youth from all around the world, from all the continents and all types of countries, and brought them together. I participated in the politics, law, and economics session of it. So we got to hear lectures from some of Yale's top academic professors, lecturers, and to also work in groups discussing different ideas. All types of things.
And that's where you want to attend, Yale?
Yes, I've been accepted. I was accepted about a month or so ago.
Already accepted?
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Seriously, that's not easy school to get into. Not at all. Well, I am glad that to see the kind of strides that you are heading on. And I want to ask one quick question, though. What do you want for your major?
I'm uncertain at this point.
Okay. You have a little bit of time. So
yeah, a little bit. I'm until sophomore year to declare. I know my interests are in history, politics, economics area, but I haven't yet to settle on anyone.
Very good, very good. Well, thanks for joining us, Austin. It's been great. It's been great. Next, we'll hear the secret to success from all three of these young men as they join me together on set. Stay with us.
We have a job to do out here today.
To be a winning team, you have to work like a winning team.
My team depends on me.
And my team It's 50,000 strong. Looks like a lot of work's going into this.
This is what it feels like to be part of a team.
A winning team.
The Action Team.
Get in on the action at actionteam.org. Are you in?
Welcome back. This segment, we have all three of our guests joining us together on set. We want to welcome back Austin Strayhorn, Isaac Jackson, and we also have Brandon Pace. Welcome, gentlemen. I'm glad to have you back with us on the show. Now, let me ask you, each of you attend from the Hart Christian School, and each of you are also Eagle Scouts. That alone is impressive, the fact that you were an Eagle Scout. What do you think, what impact first did the church have, or did the Christian school, I should say, have on you?
Well, I guess I can start.
Okay.
Well, earlier when Isaac and Austin were talking about the family relationships that the school bonds, because in our high school, there are only maybe an estimate of 52 people in our high school, and there's 17 people in our class. So that family bond kind of helps motivate us, because there are also some of our teachers are involved in Boy Scouts, and they kind of know both of our lives in and outside of school. So
that's good.
They kind of motivate us, and they see we're not doing something, they kind of tell us, and then that kind of keeps me focused.
Very good. Anybody else?
Yeah, just to piggyback off of what he said, we are a family, so we see each other a lot. Isaac's dad is one of our scoutmasters.
Okay.
So just having a lot of your friends in it with you, I think there may be, besides us three, there's maybe two others who are in our grade who are also scouts, who are also on the cusp of becoming Eagle Scouts. So we all motivated each other.
Very good.
And that made it easier to keep the commitment and to stay in it.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Is many Boy Scouts quit before they hit the Eagle Scout and rank. So it is the camaraderie or the coaching of each other that kept you going, or what would you say?
I'd say that was part of it. For me, one of the biggest things was I always just had a passion for it. That's always something I enjoyed, that I always liked to do. I was particularly drawn to the outdoors aspect of it. I love all types of outdoors activities, hiking, camping, fishing, whatever. So that was really a draw to me.
What did you like most about scouting?
For me, it was the outdoor part, I guess. I guess being one with nature in terms, I guess, was very fun. And being able to interact with other troops and other scouts was also fun, because you see how different people see scouting as well. Some even say they were going to quit soon. Some even try to motivate you as well to become Eagle Scouts too.
Did being an Eagle Scout have anything to do when you applied for college? Did being an Eagle Scout help in some way for you to apply or get grant money or scholarship money?
Well, I know one school I applied to, they actually have a scholarship specific for people who are Eagle Scouts, have the Gold Award for Girl Scouts.
Nice.
And so when I saw that, I was thinking, oh, well, I'm an Eagle Scout. And I'm already, when I already applied to the school, and I didn't even know about it. So.
Oh, wow.
That's how it was with me as well. It's a scholarship. But that wasn't the reason why I wanted to become an Eagle Scout, though.
Right. But it helps.
Yes, it helps a lot.
It really helps. So that's great. That's great. Now, what advice would you give to younger boys, whether they're at your school or not, just in general? What advice? You all have, very decent GPAs. You're all Eagle Scouts, which is an accomplishment all by itself. You're all doing really well. What advice would you have for any young student, whether they're at the church or not? What would you say to keep it on track?
I'd say a lesson I've learned is delayed gratification. In short, a statement that we hear a lot at our school and church: sacrificing short-term pleasures for long-term gains. seeing the end goal and sacrificing things in the short term that you will need to sacrifice in order to get there, to attain that, is something very key and something that you can be seen in scouting and becoming an Eagle Scout. You don't become one overnight. You don't just show up to a meeting and get one. You have to work a lot, put a lot of hours in to earn it. Usually it takes years to get to that point. And I think that's a valuable lesson for school, for life, especially in this age where everything is instant,
Yes.
instant messaging, instant text, everything. But just learning to wait, learning to instead of maybe spending the evening watching TV or playing video games or something, or doing something more chilled or relaxed like we would all like to, maybe studying a couple more hours. If you play sports, practicing a little bit harder, a couple more hours. Those types of sacrifices that you make will pay off in the end, and I think all three of us can testify to that. So that's my advice.
Anyone else?
So for me, my advice would to make sure that you're self-motivated in the beginning, I guess, and not let society dictate what your future is going to look like, which is something that was big for me in becoming Eagle Scout, because I know that a small percentage of Scouts become Eagle Scouts, and that's why I wanted to prove wrong that I could become one, and that I wasn't going to become this part of the statistic that doesn't become an Eagle Scout, which is something that I'm really big on now, I guess, is proving people wrong. Because I guess if you allow society to dictate what you do and become in life, then you won't really find your passion in life and find what you want to do for the rest of your life.
And what about you, Brendan?
Well, basically the same things that Austin said, but my only thing to add would be knowing your reason why you would do something. Because truth be told, Austin was actually the first person in our class to join Boy Scouts, and I came in after he did, and then Isaac came, and then some of our other classmates came. So Austin was the one that kind of motivated me to get in the Scouts. And then you see other people come in after you, and some of them fall off, some of them stay with you. So that's saying stuff, just know why you're motivated to do something.
So how old were you guys when you actually started scouting? How old were you each?
I think I started Cub Scouting when I was 6. I started Boy Scouts up around the 5th grade, the time when I was about 11.
Okay.
I started when I was about 12 in 6th grade.
Okay.
Yeah. I started at 11.
11?
Yeah.
So each of you have been with it now a good long time. A good long time. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Now, what do you think the difference is? You've got a good marriage between your Christian education and the Boy Scouts. What impact did being a Christian have with your success?
Well, I know for me, being a Christian, it really taught me to make the right decisions, I guess. Because in scouting, you have the opportunity to be exposed to different things, I guess. And being a Christian really teaches you what's right and what's wrong, and what will help you be a better witness to those behind you or those ahead of you, and to show others what you truly believe, so that they'll be able to follow you as well.
Yeah, I think the biggest impact being a Christian had for me was it gave me a sense of purpose with everything I did. I realized that everything I did, I was representing God, the God who created the entire world, the entire universe. So it kind of held me to a higher standard in the work that I did, and it helped to really humble me a lot. And so it gave me purpose, and it humbled me a lot.
Wonderful, wonderful. Brendan?
Yeah, well, I know one thing that motivated me about being a Christian is that we tend to look at ourselves and kind of focus on developing our character, conduct, and commitment. And so that's one thing that's kind of incorporated into Boy Scouts, because when you look at someone who's an Eagle Scout, you kind of expect things from them, and you expect them to act a certain way and to live what they've been doing since they were Boy Scouts. So.
Very good, very good. Thank you, each of you. Thank you for joining us on this show.
Thank you.
It is exciting to see the zeal, the focus, and commitment that exudes from these young men. They're well on their way, and they are wonderful examples to others. If you want information on how you or your youth can plot a better path forward, contact us. We're here to help. That's it for now. We hope you enjoyed the show. Join us next time, won't you, for the Clarion Call. Until then, I'm Janice Liggins. Blessings to you.